In the heart of a gentle, whispering forest where the trees swayed like dancers and the wind sang soft lullabies, there lived a cheerful little teddy bear named Benny. Benny had soft caramel fur, big round ears, and eyes that sparkled with curiosity. Every morning, as the sunlight peeked through the leaves, Benny would open his eyes, stretch his paws, and whisper to himself, "Today is the perfect day for a new adventure." Benny lived in a cozy wooden house carved into an old oak tree. It had a round green door, windows shaped like leaves, and a small chimney that puffed out sweet-smelling smoke from the honey cinnamon tea he loved to brew. One sunny morning, as Benny sat on his mushroom-shaped stool sipping tea and munching toast with wild berry jam, he heard a soft knock at the door. Knock, knock, knock. When Benny opened the door, he saw his best friend Milo the mouse, wearing his red explorer's cap and carrying a tiny backpack. "Benny, Benny, there's a mystery," Milo squeaked excitedly. "The smiles are missing." "The smiles?" Benny blinked. "What do you mean?" "The forest of 1,000 smiles isn't smiling anymore," Milo explained. "The flowers aren't blooming, the birds aren't singing, and even the butterflies look confused. Something strange is happening." Benny stood up. "Then we better find out why." He packed his adventure satchel with honey biscuits, a magnifying glass, a compass, and of course, his lucky blue button, and off they went. They passed the wiggly willows, where trees usually giggled when the wind blew, but now they stood quiet and still. They crossed the Rainbow River, where water usually shimmered with colors, but today it was pale and gray. Soon, they reached the Laughing Meadow, where flowers used to giggle when tickled by bees. But now, the meadow was silent. No buzzing, no giggling, just silence. Suddenly, a soft sniffle came from behind a daisy. "Hello," Benny called. Out popped a little creature with bright orange fur and big round eyes. It was Lulu the Laughter Fairy. "Oh, Benny," she cried. "I'm so glad you're here. Something's stolen the joy crystals." "The joy crystals?" Benny asked. "They power the smiles of the forest," Lulu explained. "They glow with laughter, happiness, and kindness. But now they're gone, and everyone is losing their smiles." Milo gasped. "Who would do such a thing?" "I don't know," Lulu sniffled. "But there are rumors of a grumpy cloud that's been floating over the forest lately, muttering and hiding things." Benny puffed out his chest. "Then we're going to find that cloud." Lulu, Benny, and Milo followed the trail of fading light and quiet songs deeper into the forest. The trees grew taller, the paths twistier, and the air cooler. They came across Tilly the tortoise, who was knitting a very long scarf. "Tilly," Benny said, "have you seen a grumpy cloud?" Tilly nodded slowly. "It floated this way, left a trail of fog and grumbling behind. Said something about being tired of all the cheerfulness." "Do you know where it went?" asked Milo. "Over the hills, beyond the whispering waterfalls," Tilly said. "But be careful. The grumble cloud doesn't like company." "Then we'll just have to be extra kind," Benny smiled. As they made their way toward the waterfalls, they sang a little tune to keep their spirits high. "Adventure waits and kindness leads, through forest paths and flower seeds. No grumble can defeat a cheer, when friends and hearts are always near." The song helped lift the mood of passing butterflies and even made a tree stump chuckle. They climbed the mossy hill to reach the whispering waterfalls, which usually whispered sweet lullabies to travelers. But now, the waterfalls were frozen, locked in silence. At the top, nestled in a cloud of gray mist, they saw him, a fluffy, frowning grumble cloud named Grizzle. Grizzle floated lazily, arms crossed, muttering to himself, "I don't like music. I don't like giggles. I don't like joy." Benny stepped forward bravely. "Excuse me," Mr. Grizzle? Grizzle turned, surprised. What do you want? He huffed. We heard you may have found some glowing joy crystals, Benny said kindly. They belong to the forest, and without them, no one can smile. Grizzle scowled. So what if I did? I was tired of feeling left out. I don't get invited to parties. No one likes a cloud. I wanted to feel special too. Benny's heart softened. Oh, Grizzle, he said gently. You don't have to steal smiles to be special. You are special just by being you. Maybe no one ever told you that. Grizzle blinked. Really? Milo nodded. You could come to the Festival of Smiles with us. Help return the joy crystals. Everyone would cheer for you. Grizzle's eyes shimmered like dew. You'd let me come? He asked. Of course. Benny smiled. But first, maybe we can sing a happy song together? Grizzle hesitated and then, quietly, began to hum along. And just like that, a small beam of sunlight peeked through his cloudy fluff. Then another. Then another. He pulled the joy crystals from his cloudy pocket and handed them to Lulu, who twirled with delight. The crystals began to glow brighter and brighter until the waterfalls unfroze, the flowers bloomed, and the birds began to sing once more. After returning the joy crystals to Lulu the Laughter Fairy, the forest began to sparkle with joy once again. The sun stretched its golden arms across the treetops, the rivers sang cheerful songs, and laughter floated in the air like dandelion fluff. Grizzle the Grumble Cloud, once gloomy and gray, now floated beside Benny with a tiny pink party hat and a hesitant smile. Is it really okay if I come to the festival? He asked. Benny beamed. Not only is it okay, Grizzle, it's wonderful. You helped bring the joy back. Now let's celebrate. Preparing for the festival. The entire forest buzzed with excitement. Animals big and small gathered to prepare for the Festival of Smiles, an annual celebration of kindness, laughter, and friendship. Milo the mouse helped hang string lanterns between trees, each shaped like a different animal's face. Bears, owls, foxes, frogs, and even one that looked like Grizzle. Lulu fluttered around, sprinkling shimmer dust on the flowers to help them glow in rainbow colors. The bees baked honey cakes, the raccoons stirred berry punch, and the squirrels made confetti out of colorful autumn leaves. Tilly the tortoise slowly arranged a trail of twinkling stones that led to the meadow. Benny was in charge of the most important part, the Great Balloon Parade. He filled huge balloons shaped like forest creatures and joyful things. A laughing sun, a dancing mushroom, a flying book, and even a giant smiling pancake. Each balloon was tied to a float decorated with flowers and soft moss. But the biggest surprise of all? A brand new balloon shaped like Grizzle the Cloud, with a wide, happy smile and fluffy arms waving in the air. When Grizzle saw it, he gasped. You made one for me? Of course, said Benny. You're part of the forest now, and this is your smile too. Grizzle sniffled, not from sadness, but from joy. A soft, warm rain of sparkles floated down from his fluff. The parade begins. The forest bell rang dong ding dong, and everyone gathered at the edge of the meadow. Benny climbed onto the first float with Milo and waved to the crowd. Welcome, friends, to the Festival of Smiles, he shouted. Everyone cheered. The balloon floats began to roll through the meadow path. Children animals danced along, waving ribbons and playing tiny instruments. Frogs bounced on drums, chipmunks played flutes, and butterflies flew in patterns like fireworks. As Benny passed by, he noticed something strange. A tiny gray cloud hovered over the far end of the crowd, barely visible. It wasn't Grizzle. It looked lost and afraid. Benny leaned toward Lulu. Do you see that little cloud over there? Lulu nodded. It looks like a baby cloud. The lost little cloud. Benny gently hopped down from the float and walked toward the shy cloud. It had big eyes and a wobbly frown. As Benny approached, it floated backwards nervously. "Hi there," Benny said softly. "Are you okay?" The little cloud blinked. I don't know where I belong. I'm not bright like sunbeams, or sparkly like stars, or fluffy like happy clouds." Benny smiled kindly. "What's your name?" "I don't have one," the cloud whispered. "Well then," said Benny, "how about we call you Puff?" The cloud blinked. "Puff?" "Yes," Benny said, "because you're soft and gentle and kind. You don't need to be like anyone else. Just being you is enough." Grizzle floated over, hearing the conversation. "Puff, I used to feel the same way, but Benny and the others helped me see that even grumpy clouds can be loved." Puff's edges shimmered slightly. "Really?" "Absolutely," said Milo, joining them. "Come on, Puff. There's a spot for you in the parade." And so, Puff floated between Benny and Grizzle, slowly gaining more color, soft pinks and warm yellows, as they made their way through the festival crowd. The animals cheered, welcoming Puff with open paws, wings, and tails. The Firefly Finale. As the sun began to set, the final event of the festival began, the Firefly Light Show. Hundreds of fireflies lit up the sky in patterns of stars, hearts, and smiley faces. The sky twinkled with every color, and the forest glowed with peace. Everyone gathered in a big cuddle circle on the grass. Lulu the Laughter Fairy rose above them, sprinkling stardust and saying, "This forest is a home for every smile, every heart, and every kind soul, no matter how small, fluffy, or different. Thank you all for shining together." Puff glowed softly, smiling for the very first time. Benny looked around at his friends and sighed a happy sigh. "Best festival ever," Milo whispered. Benny nodded. "And tomorrow, maybe another adventure." Benny and the Sky Tree at the edge of the world. The night after the Festival of Smiles was the most peaceful the forest had seen in a long, long time. The trees hummed lullabies, the moon blinked sleepily, and even the grass sighed with happiness. Benny curled up in his cozy oak tree house, with Milo sleeping in a tiny hammock above his bed. Outside, Grizzle and Puff floated nearby, keeping watch over the stars. But just before Benny drifted off to sleep, a soft shimmering glow filled the room. A golden leaf floated down from the ceiling, then another, and another. "What's that?" Milo murmured, waking up. Benny sat up, blinking. The leaves glowed faintly, as if they were made from starlight. Each one had a tiny symbol, a bear paw, a heart, a tree, a cloud. Suddenly, a voice like wind through a flute whispered through the window. "The Sky Tree calls to the kind one." Milo's ears perked. "Did your window just whisper?" Then he stood slowly, holding one of the glowing leaves. "The Sky Tree. I've heard stories. It grows at the edge of the world. They say it holds the memories of every kind deed, every gentle hug, every smile ever shared." Milo shivered. "It sounds magical." "It is," Benny whispered, "and it's calling. The journey begins." The next morning, Benny, Milo, Grizzle, Puff, and Lulu the Laughter Fairy prepared for their sky journey. Lulu had a special gift, a floating leaf boat, woven from moon vines and flower wings. It glowed softly and hovered just above the ground. "This will carry us all the way to the Sky Tree," Lulu said, fastening little cloud cushions as seats. "But the path will be strange. The skies above the forest are full of surprises." Benny packed honey biscuits, sky maps, and warm scarves. Puff brought a small basket of stars for emergencies. "Let's go find the edge of the world," Benny said with a smile. They floated up, up, past the treetops, above the hills, through soft misty clouds and into the endless blue, through the skylands. The sky was not empty, oh no. It was filled with floating skylands, tiny floating islands that drifted through the air, each with its own wonders. They passed the island of echoes, where everything you said came back as a song. They visited the snoring sunflower field, where the flowers gently snored in harmony, rocking birds to sleep. At one point, a silly storm passed by clouds that rained jelly beans and giggled when tickled. Benny laughed so hard he nearly fell out of the boat. Milo read the map carefully. We're getting close. Next is the Bridge of Wind Whistles, and beyond that, the Sky Tree. The bridge was made of silver threads that hummed as they crossed. The wind whispered stories of ancient bears, kind-hearted foxes, and brave little mice. At last, after passing a curtain of stardust, they saw it. The Sky Tree. It floated alone at the edge of the sky, a gigantic tree with bark made of glowing letters, leaves made of light, and branches that reached into space. Stars clung to its twigs like fruits. The tree pulsed with gentle energy, as if it were breathing slowly. When they approached, a voice, deep and warm, echoed in their hearts. Welcome, Benny the Bear. Kindness grows where your paws have walked. Benny felt a tear in his eye. You know me? The tree shimmered. I know every act of kindness ever done, and yours have lit paths others could not see. Today, you are invited to plant your memory in my branches. A small glowing seed appeared in Benny's paw. Lulu whispered, "It's the seed of Heartlight." Benny gently pressed the seed into a hollow in the bark. Instantly, a new branch bloomed, one shaped like a bear paw holding a star. The tree glowed brighter. The stars danced. The skylands below hummed in celebration. Then, something magical happened. The tree opened a window of light, a swirling view of every friend Benny had helped, from Yezek Juppie to the baby cloud puff. Grizzle floated closer. It's beautiful. I never knew kindness had so many colors. Milo nodded, eyes wide. It's like the forest is in the sky now, too. The return. When it was time to return, the tree gave each of them a gift. To Benny, a star-shaped badge that glowed only when someone nearby felt unloved, so he could always help. To Milo, a magical magnifying glass that showed hidden smiles. To Grizzle, a hat made of sunlight to remind him he could shine. To Puff, a bell that rang when someone needed comfort. And to Lulu, a new set of wings made from laughter itself. They rode the leaf boat home under a sky full of shooting stars. As they descended toward the forest of 1,000 smiles, the trees swayed gently in welcome. Lights flickered in the windows. Everyone was waiting. The whole forest cheered as the boat landed softly in the meadow. Benny stood on the bow and smiled. The Sky Tree is real, and it sees us all. The night of 1,000 stars. That night, the forest had a second festival, one even quieter and more magical than the last. Everyone lay on blankets of moss, looking up at the stars. Each star flickered with a different memory. A giggle, a hug, a shared cookie, a cloud's first smile. Benny curled up under his favorite tree, his friends all around him. As he drifted to sleep, he whispered, "Kindness doesn't end. It floats, and it grows." And above, in the sky tree swayed softly, glowing with a new branch, one shaped just like a teddy bear with outstretched arms.